Welcome back to Houston Life. In his latest memoir, Houston-based author and attorney Tate Barkley recounts his childhood experiences with his father and his journey through poverty, addiction, and shame.
It's called Sunday Dinners, Moonshine, and Men, but now he's 25 years sober, and his hopes, his writing, really compels others to leave their shame behind and discover the peace that they all deserve. So it's with great pleasure that we welcome Tate to Houston Life. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Appreciate y'all having me here.
Okay, so we were kind of talking in the break how this is really a full circle thing because so much of this book is based right here in this city.
It is. You know, my dad brought us to Houston in 1977. That was a long time ago. And we lived in North Carolina at the time. We were living in this rundown trailer park in North Carolina. And I'll share this. Dad had a warrant out for his arrest. So he decided now's the right time to move to Houston. Okay?
Yeah, good timing.
So anyway, we came to Houston, and I remember when he told me we were coming to Houston, he goes, "Bub," they call me Bub at home. They said, "Bub, Houston's booming, and if we go there, all our dreams are gonna come true. You'll see." So he loaded us up. To Houston we came.
1977,
Yeah.
you landed here.
Yeah.
The book you were telling us during the break has been very positively received. One thing you tackle in this book that I think is fascinating and a lot of people can identify with is that for many people, home is not such a safe space, right? And I don't think any parent set out to make their children, uncomfortable or create an unsafe environment, but home is not safe for a lot of people.
It's not, and I think what happens is, and I had a very chaotic childhood, and my dad, even though I'm sure he had the best intentions, he was a chaotic guy, and we had a constant life of instability, and he was a drinker himself, and that could create a lot of fear in the household. And I think one of the things that we need to remember is that when kids are going through that kind of chaotic and unstable environment, it leaves an impact. And I know that with me, I'll only speak for me, that kind of chaos and instability young, it sort of leaves this constant sense of being afraid
Right.
and anxious
Right.
and waiting for that next shoe to drop. And no matter how irrational the thinking, like they're going to cut off my financial aid, I'm going to get evicted even though the rent's paid, or I'm going to lose my job even though I got a good review, that fear sort of follows you around when you come from such instability, no matter how irrational it might be. So yeah, that was one of the things I did try to tackle in the book about, those ups and downs that I had and the chaos I had as a kid, and trying to come to grips with that as I got older. And sadly, I came to grips with it drinking, and then it was kind of a struggle to free myself from that addiction.
You say you drank because you wanted to not only win your father's approval, but it kind of numbed you from a lot of the things. Can you speak on that?
Yeah, I knew by the time I was 12 or 13 that I was attracted to other guys. And the place where I was from and the household that I lived in, that was totally not okay. We lived in a very southern, hyper-masculine household. You're gonna shoot, you're gonna hunt, you're gonna be tough, you're gonna play football, you're gonna do all that stuff. So liking other guys was not part of the protocol. That's not what it was about. And I remember the first time I took a drink was in Houston. And we lived at this big apartment complex out on the Gulf Freeway. And there was a bayou, of course, behind there. And I remember a buddy of mine handed me a beer, and he said, "Do you want to try this?" And I said, "Sure." And I drank that first beer, and then I had a second, and it was like all of that was lifted off of me. I felt brave and courageous for the first time. And that first beer buzz was really, really awesome. Wow. And it was still the best one I ever had. I chased that perfect booze buzz for another 20-some years before I got sober, and it was never as good as the first time. And by the time I came to grips with trying to get sober, I had pretty much lost everything, and so it began.
Tate, it's so interesting to hear you describe your upbringing and to lose everything. A lot of people have that sense of hopelessness, which is so terrifying. When you're in the thick of it, you feel like you're never going to get through it.
Right.
Today, you have a successful career, decades-long career as a lawyer, teaching at U of H. You have a husband, a beautiful home. You love Houston. You're thriving, and you've just published another book. So what's your message to someone out there who feels like they are stuck in the mud?
There are angels everywhere in my mind. There's angels everywhere. And the first thing you have to do is, I think, be honest with yourself and say, I got a problem. You're not meant to be in fear. You're not meant to be unhappy. That's not what life's meant to be. You're not meant to feel less than. So if you're feeling that way, reach out. There are other people that may feel that way, but reach out wherever you need to go. For me, I got sober through Alcoholics Anonymous. And here in Houston, we were lucky enough to have a place where they had lots of recovery meetings for gay and lesbian and the queer community. So I was lucky. I had the Lambda Center here, right there in Montrose.
Wow.
There are places out there that can help you reach for that help, because if you feel less than, you're not. There's a place that you can go. There are people who can help.
And maybe even your book, Sunday Dinners, Moonshine and Men, could help some folks out there. Tate Barkley, thank you so much for stopping by Houston.
Thank y'all for having me.
And congrats on your journey.
I appreciate
We
it.
could do a whole show
We
with
could-
Tate, couldn't we?
Come back and see it.
Good stuff.
Sunday Dinners, Moonshine and Men is available online and in stores. You can find a link to purchase on our website, houstonlife.tv.